Hi everybody, Debbie Dubois here. Welcome back to the Intuit Oracle channel. Today we're going to do some readings on relationships. So if you're interested in finding out where you stand with that special someone, or let's say you're not in a relationship and you wonder what's coming next, I think I'm going to pretty much cover the gamut in terms of relationships. So you're really going to want to stick around for this one. We'll be right back.
Chosen, I've been waiting here for you since the beginning of this universe. You know the world is fading. There's a secret power hidden in your soul. Don't be afraid to use it, 'cause you're the one. You're the one. You're the one. You're the one.
Welcome back. We are getting ready to dive into some readings for relationships. And yeah, it sounds like someone's getting into stuff in my set. I've got things crashing. That happens when you have 3 cats. It's craziness. So yeah, one of the things that I've been getting a lot of guidance on lately is it really goes back to all the experience that I've had with the twin flame journey, with a channel that I had, True Sacred Union, and then moving more recently into what's coming in the future. I'm now really, really heavily being able to see what the nature of relationships are coming in New Earth, if you want to call it that. And because of that, I started to have a brand new perspective on the purpose of relationships. So I thought it would be a little bit fun to take a look at the different, stages of relationships that you guys might be in. And, let's find out what the cards have to say about the different connections. And I do realize that in order for us to get to the place where we're ready for the relationships of New Earth, a lot of patterns and what do you want to say? Any of the blocks that we have to love really need to be dismantled. So every single type of relationship, every single connection that you have can be used to move you forward on that journey. Now, whether you've been with someone for a really long time and you're just looking for some guidance on that relationship, or whether you have no one in your life at all right now and you're kind of wondering, what that's about, that's what we're going to take a look at. So I'm going to use the Intuit Oracle. I'll just show my deck over here. I'm going to use the Intuit Oracle to start. And I think the first thing that we're going to look at is people who are in, how shall we say, catalytic heart awakening relationships. Now, all that really means is that you've met somebody that you've gone through this intense relationship with, and they are the type of people that push your buttons all the time. And you find yourself like highly motivated to stick around because the feelings are really strong. But in order to stick around, you really need to expand. You really need to grow. And some people call this a twin flame relationship. Some call it a catalyst. It doesn't matter what you call it. We're going to take a look at it right now. For those of you who are in the catalytic heart awakening, the first card that I got is the Sun. All right. So there's a lot of positive energy there right now. The divine masculine energy is very strong. You're probably in a feeling right now within that connection of being in your personal power, having energy, kind of feeling victorious. Whatever you've gone through in the past about this connection, you're getting a lot of good feelings about it. Now, it's interesting because those of you who have been on this path, we got the geese. Geese is about migration. All right. It's a relocation. It's also like knowing where you're going. And I want to say that you're far enough along on this path. Gosh, with the two cards here together, you're talking about you've come a long way, baby. And the geese tends to say that, if you've been in this connection for a long time, you're probably feeling really good. You might actually be on, I don't know, just almost like an even keel. And we all know that have been on that experience is that it can be cyclical. So that's another word on this card. So you might be dealing with cycles. And this is probably a good cycle for you. Look at that. So this is about the person. Okay, so this is telling me that more than likely you're in a good space. The migration and relocation, hey, maybe you're actually getting ready to relocate to wherever this person is. You also, you might be on a quest to, I don't know, explore other things. You're in a good spot. You're feeling fulfilled. So that's a really good sign. Let's see what else we've got. Again, I'm still using the original Intuit Oracle, and I tend to use this deck for relationship and spiritual stuff. Now, we've got a new beginning, all right? So new beginnings may mean that wherever you're at, you're at a really good spot that, well, it's two things really. I want to say that if you're, and again, the catalyst, remember, we're talking about a catalytic heart awakening. So this person is probably the person, and this is where we are speaking of the person. That's why this came up. You could be in a position where you're really focused on that person, and that person still continues to be the carrot on the stick for you in terms of your spiritual self. Or maybe you've gone to a new place where there's some new beginnings for you. Now that could be with this person. It could be with this person, a sudden increase in wanting to be together, more desire for each other. It's a sex and procreation. You could be in that spot. Let's see what else. And some of you may either be still dealing with, and I want to say, because we're talking about, this is a third person, by the way. It's the third person card. In other words, there's someone else in this relationship, one way or another. Either it's a spouse of the other person's, it's a spouse of yours, it's a new person coming in, which could be new beginnings. There is a third person in this, but what is really good is that it's here with the sun. Okay? You're feeling fine. You're feeling good about it. It's kind of like, I want to say it's almost like a test. It's like, where are you at with this kind of catalytic connection? Where are you at? And having a third person in here. No, and it's so funny because we've got manifesting your deepest desire. Okay, this is the ducks. Well, the loons. I just see ducks. They're the loons. There is a deep committed. There's a deep commitment here to this path that you're on. And in where you're at right now with the sun card is it's like reawakening lost hopes. Now, this can be reawakening lost hopes for this connection, or maybe it's a new connection, right? Maybe it's the rabbits. Maybe it's the new connection. Maybe it's not just that, but it could be a third person. So whatever your situation is, I would say the biggest exciting part of this is definitely that you've got the sun card. You're in a very strong, powerful place. And that's, catalytic connections can be exhausting. They really can be. because it does tend to go in cycles. And what you're doing in these connections is you're breaking the old dogma. All right, this is the church. You're breaking the old dogma. You're breaking the old templates. And bringing in new earth. The thing is that the structure that's been put on the planet has been very centered on religion and very centered on the controllers of the planet, wanting to have us in a structure where you can run programs that, and this whole thing about catalytic heart awakening, twin flame, is to help break up those structures, is what they're saying. So these structures are programmed structures. So, there are a lot of people who go through the catalytic heart awakening experience, and, it wrecks marriages. It really hurts family members and children. And, there's a lot of, and there's a lot of separation too. I mean, traditionally people meet from across the world, and it throws everything to the total chaos. But from a new earth standpoint, this literally is part of the process of breaking down the old templates. And it does it with this extremely powerful, and this is where I think the loons come in. It's this deep commitment. It's kind of like, you can't help it, you can't stop it. And when it comes in like a wrecking ball, but it's for this. It's to take care of this. Before we can move into new earth relationships, we have got to break down these programmed structures, because these programmed structures are absolutely not for our highest goods or the highest goods of the family structure or the highest goods, because they're economical structures, they're business structures, and they're not always based on heart-centered love from a person who is in a place to give and love, give and receive love in a very healthy way, to be able to create what I would say would be the actual family units. So it's a discovery kind of relationship, a self-discovery. It usually happens with someone that's exceptional for you, the soul spark. And it does help you in your illumination. And the thing that does that, I believe, is the chemistry that you have with that person. But typically, in almost all cases, I mean, there's rare exceptions, but in almost all cases, it's for the purpose of growth, and whether or not this person is the person that you end up, what do you want to say? If both people grow and they both come to a good place, this could be the person in the long run. But, I've got to say, from a New Earth standpoint, I'm beginning to get a lot of information that these connections were really to break the templates of New Earth. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some cards from the Twin Flame Oracle. This is by Marla Kelly. And this particular deck is just about ready to ship. I mean, like literally within the next week, it's starting to ship. So if you haven't bought this, it's almost like ready. It's almost out of pre-sale completely. So let's find out what that catalyst person, what they're feeling right now, how they feel about the connection. All right. So this person says, I close my eyes and imagine you're here with me. It feels so real. I'm beginning to understand. This is what it means to be in 5D with you. Okay. Now I want to say that this is a state, when you start getting to this state, the sun, and you start getting in alignment and stuff, you really do start to understand that whether it's this person or if it's a third person, if it's a third person coming in, that right there is what fifth dimensional frequency is that you don't have to be in physical presence, and you're in a good enough space that you can be in connection with that person in that higher vibration. Okay. Now this person also, and I believe it's because you're really strong right now, they're wondering if they have what it takes to be your person. And that's up to you to, that's the relationship needs to kind of, it kind of has to progress to find out. And whoa, that jumped out at me. Okay, but this person thinks that you're beautiful inside and out. They see the light that radiates from your soul. Okay, so this person, I want to say that this person is still right on track with you. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know where this third person fits in. I mean, again, it could be that one or both of you are already in a relationship or have been in a relationship. That's very common with twins, twin flames or catalytic heart awakening. It could be entrance of another person. And what I like to do with these cards is I like to look at the cards that are sitting next to them. And because of that, like on one side here, we've got the church and the third person. To me, this tells me that this is probably marital partners. Okay. So there's something having to do with marital partners. You know what? I'm going to pull another card and I'm going to ask about this third person. Tell me a little bit about this third person. What is this third person? Because it's really interesting. I'm getting that it could be any kind of, well, isn't that interesting? Look what card I got. Twin flame. Interesting. So this could be all kinds of things, actually. So this third person, if this is the traditional dogma, this could be, I hate to say, I mean, it could be the twin flame. That could be the twin flame. That third person. I mean, nothing surprises me anymore when it comes to relationships. Nothing. Now, we did talk about new beginnings. New beginnings. There's possibility. What if there's a new beginning and it's a twin flame? All right. Now, some of you might not really want to hear that because a lot of people think that twin flames are like destined, like they have to be together. And I don't agree. I don't agree. Because, it's like whether that person is the other half of your soul or whether that person volunteered to literally just get in there and really, really get you completely clear for another person. But that's interesting. A third person. And we got the twin flame. That does. I'm going to see if there's any more information on that third person. Because it's not unusual in a twin flame catalytic heart awakening situation that people aren't available, to be together. The elements of water. Okay, so this third person, romantic, it's a healing kind of situation. It's 50-50. Things are fluid. If this is a new person, it just means that there's some, dreams, fantasy, compassion, emotional feelings. Yeah, I don't know. So what that's about, that's interesting. It could actually be, we are talking twin flames. Maybe this relationship that you're in is getting ready to take that leap. Like the leap of actually, if that person is ready and you're ready, that could be the case. All right. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm seeing here. I think that pretty much covers it. I do feel that third person's really bugging me. Because it does say, it's an outside party. There's too many people. Someone else is influencing. That's another possibility here. Someone else is influencing the twin flames. That person might be enchanting the person. Regardless of what it is, it's sitting right next to that church. So I gotta say, whatever this third person thing is, but it's also next to the sun. So it's almost like some of you may be in a situation where that third person is involved in your connection with this person and they're still working out their karmic stuff. But for some of you with the sun, it could be that, you're like actually saying, wow, there's somebody else. We do have the person. Could be love interest. It could be that person. It also could be another person because it's sitting there right next to the new beginnings. So in my experience, a lot of twins that, I've known over the years that, aren't in complete union with their twin, meaning that they're, married and living together and all of that stuff in a completely committed relationship, a lot of them are finding new people. So that's kind of interesting. Or they're experimenting and reaching out and seeing, am I really ready for something more? And am I tired of sitting and waiting? So, so that's the reading that I've got right now for the twin flame catalytic heart awakening, those kinds of relationships. All right, so now what we're going to do, let's see. All right, let's do those of you who are not in connection with anyone at all, okay? We all have that. We all have somebody out there. If we want to manifest love relationships, we will manifest love relationships. And because, the way the world is and the more and more we move into the higher dimensions, in some cases, if you're not with a partner, it's because you're really, really focused on your mission and, you get complete enjoyment and benefit from just being around other people and you're enough in your own self-love and everything else to just, be good with being alone. If you're watching this video, more than likely, you're probably interested in what's coming next. Or you'd be like, I'm too busy to do this and I don't want to watch this. So I'm going to assume that if you're not in connection and you want to be in connection, let's take a look at what the cards have to say for you. Okay, let's find out what's coming in. If we got any timing, what are some things that you might need to be working on, to be ready for a person to come in. Okay, we got one. Well, the first thing that we got is the Leo. All right, the timing on the Leo. I'll tell you that in a second. So we got Leo. All right, we're moving into the time of Leo very, very soon. So a Leo fire sign might be coming in is one way to read this. This is the Queen of Fire. And the timing on this is within 7 to 14 days or during the summer or July 22nd to August 21st. So it's right around the corner if that's what your soul's calling for. You could be bringing in somebody. This person would be a very caring person. They would carry the authoritative and I want to say authoritative. In other words, they know themselves. They know they're warm, generous, magnanimous. And those are qualities of a Leo, if that is what this is about. But it's a strength card. So, I want to say that if you're one of those people where they're coming in, looks like they could be coming in kind of soon. Right? Let's see what else we have. All right. So we also have the Mountain, which is about solitude. And we've got another card, a Cancer card. All right, so let's take a look at that. The middle card, I tend to read in pairs, either pairs or in this particular case, it's 3. I like to read cards together. So maybe what we're dealing with now is you may have been not in a relationship because you've been in a place of solitude. Maybe you've been in a place where you're feeling a little bit of cold and indifferent. And That may be part of the problem. Yeah, what's this other card here? We got the Cancer card. Now, this is saying, again, during the summer, June 22nd to July 21st, or within 1 to 3 months. So this is a nurturing energy. So some of you might be meeting someone with the Cancer energy, which is a nice, gentle, nurturing energy. And that could happen either within 1 to 3 months or during this summer as well. So it does sound like we are, looks like we're going to be coming out of this solitude, whether it's been self-imposed, the solitude, the mountain is about barriers. It's been about indifference. And maybe that's what I'm getting more than ever. Maybe you've been in a state of indifference when it comes to relationships. And so, I want to just see if I can find out more about this obstacle. The mountain is typically an obstacle. Okay, so we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so the forces of the universe are kind of telling you that even though you've kind of kept yourself and kind of been an island, a little bit more distant, that karma's at work here. I want to say, instead of karma, I want to say forces of the universe. I'm really of the belief that karma, I believe in cause and effect. if you do this really hard, it hurts your hand. I mean, there's certain things of karma that, cause and effect. But karma is I do something wrong and I have to pay for it. I'm starting to, for New Earth, I do not see that as an energy that exists. But right now you're getting what you deserve. And this is really out of your hands. This is destiny. This is fate. This is something that the forces of the universe are coming together right now to say, I know you've been wanting to be all in your own little world and stuff, but we're going to intervene here. And we're going to, this isn't in your hands. In other words, you can say, I didn't really want to be in a relationship. And then all of a sudden you meet someone and you're like, oh shit. What? Didn't expect that. All right, so let's see what else we got for people who are not in connection. Oh my gosh, look at this. An island. Okay, so we got it's another isolation card. All right, so you have been, again, this just goes right along with the mountain. You have been doing this. Whoever's here reading this, listening to this reading, you've kept yourself in isolation. You've kept yourself separate. You like being independent. Now it says lonely. I'm not getting that energy. I don't feel, well, you know what? Some of you may be feeling like an island and be lonely. But between these two cards, standoffish, separate, protection, protected, barriers. And they're both 21 cards. Basically, they're both 2-1 cards. This is heavy, heavy energy of isolating yourself. Now, maybe you just don't want complications. Maybe you like having your world go where you want and you don't want to have to deal with this. You don't want to deal with this. You're like, bag this. I really don't want to be forced into anything, but interesting. So it is kind of out of your hands. Now I'm really curious. I want to know what's going on. All right, so let's see what else. And I might reach for the Zodiac 108. Okay, I got the White Wolf. The White Wolf is, this is, whoever's watching this reading, this is, inner wisdom. I want to say it's you're in such a space of personal power and confidence, and you trust your own inner knowing, and freedom. Freedom. It's such a big, big word to you. All right. So the freedom that you get from keeping yourself separate, it's like, I want to say girl or boy, whoever's listening. It's like you're really not wanting that jeopardized. That's what I'm getting. It's like you really don't want that jeopardized. You're like, I've worked really hard to be in this place where I am really reporting to myself. But you want to know what? You're also missing the friendship. Or you have a dog. There you go. In other words, it's like maybe you do have friends, soulmates, supportive peer group, or pets, faithful companions. And it means that you don't feel like you're missing stuff. I got your number. Yeah, it's kind of like you're feeling pretty comfortable. You're feeling pretty comfortable in that spot. But then I say to myself, well, if that's true, why are you watching this reading? But it really might explain, we don't sometimes realize that we're blocking love, and you might be doing it on purpose. Oh my gosh, we got this card again. In this reading, we got the church. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm getting information on this. This is another way to break the old patterns. That's what I'm getting. This is another relationship model, which is sans relationship without, I think that's the French word for it. It's kind of like someone is saying, I'm not going to follow the standard formula for relationships. I'm not going to sit down and plan marriage and kids and the traditional relationship. And this kind of assures that doesn't happen. But it's okay. It's okay because you've surrounded yourself with loyal friends and you are in your highest wisdom, and it really is out of your hands anyways. But guess what? You're part of creating that new pattern for new earth. Because, all right, let's keep going here. Because the thing is that the relationships with new earth are extremely about take the word dependent out. There's no dependency at all. I wouldn't even say interdependency. I used to think interdependency was the right word. This is the right word. When there's connection, it's home. That's it. It's home. It's where you feel like you can rest your hat. It's where once you've gotten so, into your day, you've just been free and doing whatever you want to. And when you have that connection, it's going to be about just roots, just a place to come home to, the person that you come home to that understands you, that just is so happy that you're just sharing the same space. That's it. It's not about needs. That person in this particular case, once we break this old traditional thing, it really just becomes about home and not, I don't know if that's clear or not. I always take my glasses off to do readings because I can't. It's like whenever it's really funny because I'll be having conversations like, I don't know, spiritual conversations, and I'll go out the door and I'll get in my car and I'll be driving with my headphones on. And as soon as the call hangs up, I go, oh, I can't see. I can see really good with my third eye when I'm not. So yeah, so this connection, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for those of you who are choosing not to be in relationships right now, because it's making it an option. It's setting a template. Okay, it's setting a template for new earth. Now I got the raccoon. The raccoon is the problem solver. They're resourceful, they're clever, they're curious, they ask the questions, they're pretty creative, they're entrepreneurs. So I don't know if some of you have the raccoon energy. I'd like to pull another card I just would like a little bit more information, please, on the raccoon. All right. God, I'm so glad to be doing a reading again. Guys, I've wanted to do a reading for the last couple weeks. And every time I get my set ready and then I run out of time because sometimes it takes a long time to get a set up. Or I don't have it in me. I've been going through a lot of shifts and changes myself. Okay, so we got the wine, which is developing over time. All right, and I did ask that in relation with the raccoon. So let me read these two cards together. Oh, wow. Okay, so like we're talking about, and I want to remind you that those of you who are tuning into this particular part of the reading, you got someone coming in if you're interested. They're sitting right there. It's like this summer. It could be there for you if you're interested. But as we sit here with the raccoon energy and the wine is about developing over time, and it's a family legacy. It's the good stuff. It's the real stuff. It ages well. That means the person that's coming in is very much going to be the person that you can develop a long-term relationship with, if this is what you're interested in. This person, I want to say, if the energy of the raccoon is this other person, they're someone who's going to solve their own problems. They're entrepreneurs. They're very resourceful. They're very clever. They're very adaptive, curious, even a little mischievous. And that's good for you because you need someone that's independent. You need someone that's completely independent. You cannot handle someone who is just going to be like all over you and expectations and why didn't you call me? And no. Yeah, look at this. Am I right? Hopefully you can see this card super clear. It's the tower. It's the tower. It's the standalone. It's the it stands alone. It's the foundational structure, and this is the energy of this person, this group of people. Whoever's watching this that is not with anyone right now. The tower is that standalone energy, experience. They stand tall. All right. That energy is not going to be handling someone that goes, I need you. That's not ever going to, no. And maybe you're that person that has said, oh my God, I've had too many needy people and I would rather not. Or I'm also getting that if you've been in a connection, let's say you've been in one of those catalytic heart connections and you've kind of said, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. And you put up that hand and you're like, no, thank you. I'm not going down this road. Yeah. So some of you are honestly like, oh, wow. All right. But you've got the stepping stones, which means probably the best thing is when you bring a new person into your life or a new person comes in, although karma basically says, yeah, you don't got much choice in that. But in other words, it is certain things that are out of your hands. But this is a stepping stone process. So allow this to unfold step by step by step. Just keep going. This is involving, again, it's spiritual growth. It is a spiritual growth to just kind of, what do you want to say? Let go of being alone. Even those of you who are like, oh, I'm really desperate for a relationship. No, you're not. You aren't, because if you're really desperate for a relationship, then you could find something, but you're not. You're in your own power. But, oh, this is a great card. I think we'll actually end this portion of the reading on this. This is Uranus. The Fool card. I used to have this part of me that was like, I'm so afraid someone's going to take me for a fool. It's like always suspicious, afraid to afraid that someone's going to take advantage of me and that I'm going to be stupid, right? A good friend of mine, John, once told me about the Fool being the incredible freeness, which I stand for freedom. If you don't know me, my middle name is Freedom, Debbie Freedom Dubois. Freedom is the most important thing to me in my entire existence. But the Fool allows you to jump in, to take that leap, to, go into the unknown. Just literally take that leap and jump in. Is that just do it? Just do it. And there is no greater freedom in the world than the energy of the Fool. And what I want to say is that that's the leap to new earth, is going from being alone to establishing your sense of independence, your sense of self-reliance, your sense of creation of your own reality, and dedication to whatever your mission is here. But if we're talking about developing over time, the good stuff that we go step by step, that the universe is basically saying, yeah, that's what we're doing right now. We're going to be moving into this. This is New Earth. New Earth is about love. It is about relationship. It's just not about relationship. It's not, where is it? It's not this relationship. Okay? It's not the dogma. It's not the bullshit. It's about this. It's about home. Even if that home is just someplace you come back to every once in a while, but that person is completely aligned with that. And look at that, the Fool card. New Earth. New Earth is calling you. I really like that reading. You know what? Before I end this reading, though, I do want to get a couple messages from the Twin Flame deck. So this person that's coming in, I'm just going to see. Now, this person, these cards might not apply. Let me not preface it. Let me just pull some, Debbie. All right. So the person says, I'm accessing past life wisdom. It's helping me understand things from a new perspective. So this person coming in is probably going to be someone that you've already had a past life, or I believe in concurrent lives, that you're already with at some level. And they're accessing that knowledge about you. See, sometimes we worry that the red cards, I got to preface it. Okay. This person is also saying, I'm not going to give into fear. I know that fear is just an illusion. So it sounds like that this person that's going to be coming in is someone who has done their work. It's interesting. That's what I was thinking, that maybe messages would come up that would be like, oh, you're so beautiful and all that. And you've never laid eyes on the person. That's what I was actually getting to. But in this particular case, this person has done their work. Oh my God. I know the universe works in mysterious ways, but sometimes I judge the situation instead of surrendering to it. So this person, again, this person's available for you. Whoever's coming in, they're available for you. They know the universe is working in mysterious ways. They're accessing past life wisdom. They're not giving into fear, that they've already dealt with fear. Let me see if there's just maybe one more card that I can pull. I might be pressing it. Let me see here. Oh, okay. This is what this person is going to feel for when they finally connect with you. I'd long ago shut down those parts of me that wanted love, romance. Oh my God. This is you. This is you. This is from your higher self. This is you. Long ago, I shut down parts of me that wanted love, romance, and intimacy, but you make me long for those things again. There you go. It could be both of you. Yeah, someone's in for a really You know, and I also want to say thank you very much for the part that you've played in helping change the templates on New Earth. I mean, I guess there's always been people that have been strong and not just jumped into relationships to have them. But there's a lot of messed up relationships out there, you know? There's a lot of people getting married for the wrong reasons. You know? It's programming. Oh, I got to get married. Oh, well, let me find a suitable mate. Oh, this person will do. I mean, I don't want to be that skeptical about it, but that is, you know, like familiarity. Oh, well, I've known this person since high school. I might as well marry them. You know, that kind of thing. I don't ever want to be without this person. I'll just marry them. When you look at New Earth and you look at the longevity issue, and I will be putting links to the New Earth information that I'm going to be putting out there. I'll put those in videos. When you start looking into the longevity that's going to be here, we're all going to realize there's no rush. There's no rush whatsoever. Okay. The next reading and the final reading I think I'll do for today, because I think that, I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of relationships. I already said, I'm not going to say, oh, if you're gay, this relationship is for you, or this reading is for you. Or, you know, if you're, there's so many different kinds of relationships. But I think that the one I'm going to do right now, I'm being called to do, is if you're in separation. If you're in separation from someone that you have a total connection with, and that person loves you as much as you love them, back and forth, and you just decide, yeah, this isn't working out right now. Let's just go our separate ways. And if we're meant to be together, we'll be together. Let's do that relationship and see. Let's see what the cards have to say. All right. You know, you guys, you know what? I'm going with the cards that I really want to go with today. And that's the Intuit Oracle. Oh, wow. Okay. So the first card we got is Stars. Dreams are coming true. All right. I'm just going to pull and I'll show you the cards as they come out. Yeah, I tend to use the Zodiac 108 when I'm looking at work and career and business, or overall arching energies, geopolitical situations. And if I want to get real specific, and maybe that's what I should have done on that person coming in. If I want to get real, all right, we got some good cards coming up. I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, I use the Zodiac 108 for those kinds of things. This is what I'm feeling. Just keep using the Intuit Oracle 2nd edition. All right. I'm going to just pull 5 to start. All right. Whenever I pull, I can pull 3, and then there's a middle card for the 2, and I read those together and then read them in pairs. In this particular case, I just felt like 5 is the right number. You've got your central card, then you got 2 pairs, and then you can read them all together. All right, so this is a relationship that is, and I'll show you the cards in just one second. This is the relationship where you have separated, but you know that you love each other. And you're pretty sure maybe at some point you'll get back together again. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, you know? But this is separation. The central card of this is heart. Okay, so it's pretty obvious for a lot of you, this person is love and romance. That's what they mean to you. It also can be the potential of that relationship if both people do the work. And how this relates to New Earth is that New Earth will not require us to actually work on ourselves. And I know that that's hard to understand. New Earth is love, romance. The things that block love and romance are all the freaking programs that we have. And when you see some of the new things that are coming, technologies and things of that nature, you're going to find out there's a lot of healing that takes place as we ascend. There's a lot of healing. So a lot of scars, hurts, old patterns from past lives, from this life. What we're going into a New Earth is literally going to be the energy of the hearts. Okay. So I want to say in this particular connection, for those of you who are seriously in a relationship that's meant to be, and that is meant to be, and you just are in separation for it, we're going to take a look at how the different parties are doing and things like that. But this kind of, it's the perfect card for this kind of connection. And you know what? This connection, whether you're together or not, doesn't have to be a twin flame connection. It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, get out the, like, I don't know, like your defense mechanisms. It doesn't have to be that kind of connection. It could just be that the person and you are just not ready to be together, and you've known it and you're smart and you just say, hey, this just isn't the right time. That's what I'm getting. So the two cards we've got on the left is the stars and the moose. Okay, those two cards. So let me read those together. That's on the left-hand side of the heart. So the moose is a powerful energy, time alone. Okay? In the time alone, in your calm, cool, and collected state, in the confidence that you are starting to get in yourself in the separation period, this independence that you're feeling, the attitude that you have is everything. And in that, your wishes are coming true. Okay? Now, I do want to say that the wishes coming true doesn't necessarily have to amount to that particular person that you're in separation with. But there's a relationship pattern between two people. There's a different relationship when someone is a carrot on a stick for someone, and they might change and grow because they're running after this person that's not interested in them. I mean, we all have had one-sided relationships where you're like, yeah, I'm really digging this person. And they're like, yeah, I really don't dig you, And just because this particular person you're in a relationship with, that you've been in a relationship with, and you've both gone your separate ways, and you could both think that you're going to get back together again someday, doesn't mean that that person's going to be the person. But it's very wise sometimes to separate. Something that maybe twin flames that have a hard time separating should do, because if they just did, then they wouldn't inflict so much pain on each other. But, again, this is what I'm saying. The relationship templates that we have right here, right now on planet Earth are all helping us to break templates for new Earth. Okay? But so the work that you're doing is literally helping to make those dreams come true. The stars card is falling in love, having hope, feeling blessed, being inspired, miracles. Okay? And that's right on that side of the love card. Now, the other thing that we've got is we've got the Milky Way and the Falcon on the other side. So let's see. Let me read these cards together. All right. Well, let me see. The Falcon is pulling me more. Okay. The Falcon is about rising above. It's a transition. It's a higher self card. It's working with your third eye. It's using far-reaching vision. And I want to say paired with the Milky Way is all about social media, publicity, internet, marketing, fame, spotlight, exposure. It seems to me that part of this period of time for you is maybe even rising above those energies is what I'm getting. I know so many of us, especially in our relationships, because we're so the world's become a really small place. So we can keep in touch with people we went to college with, in high school with, and all of this. And it's like, but if you're in separation from someone, you might be in this process of rising above all that right now. Like, in other words, being in your own skin, not necessarily finding out what that other person's doing. You might actually rising above social media. Now, some of you might actually be using social media as another social outlet that helps in the separation. I don't know. I mean, I love these cards because they can be read, in any way that works for you. And I highly encourage you in these readings is to pause the thing and look at the cards and tune into your own knowing. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this channel in the first place is, first of all, I've always loved these cards. Like before I was the director of marketing for Intuit, it's like I've always, since Kimberly first came out, oh my gosh, we got another. This is so funny. All right, hang on a second. But the reason why I wanted to do this is that it's not so much that I feel that you need me to read for you. What I would like to do is through readings, enable you to see how easy it is to read for yourself. Because in essence, learning to read for yourself is a way to hone in on your own higher guidance. So when I say, hey, feel free to pause this, look at the cards, you may have a completely different take on this reading and the cards that came up, but they're speaking to you and you might just be like, oh my God, and it might be nothing like I picked up for you. Because what I can say is that I don't consider myself a psychic, I mean, there are some people that are like really psychic. I am not considering myself a psychic. I'm extremely intuitive. I can tune into my own inner guidance. And inner guidance is kind of psychic, right? But I don't sit there and think, oh yeah, I see someone's life in front of me or anything else. Oh, wow. All right. Hang on a second. I'm just going to pull. Okay, I got one more. All right. For those of you that are looking on a timing, that if you were to get back together again, it could be within 3 to 6 months during the fall. October 22nd to November 21st are the dates on here. It's a Scorpio Queen of Water sign. It is the Death card too. So, it's like, I don't like to look at the Death card as being like, okay, it's over, just scratch this. But the Death card to me can be the transitioning of whatever's gone that doesn't need to be there anymore. It could literally mean that transitions in that period of time. Just something to think of. All right, so I've got Mercury in the center. Okay, so there's communication. We've got communications, talkative. There's a possibility that if you're not in communication with the person, that could come in. But I'm looking at this right next to that is the Uranus card again, which is the Fool. It's that freedom card. Now look at this. We got the Magnet. It means that separation that you're having is acting as a magnet. And I talk about that. In terms of twin flame energies, but it's not twin flame energies. It's two people that are connected. They don't have to be twin flames. They can be anybody who's connected or feels connected or drawn for any particular reason. You've got this magnetic, it's like, and one person might step back and the other person pulls forward. It's rubber band is what I always called it. The rubber band. And then the other person kind of says, okay, well, that person's stepping back. I'm going to step back and that person steps forward. There's a longing and a desire. There's definitely some kind of field of influence that this person's still feeling, that you're still feeling. But we got the Tower card again, which is probably the beautiful thing out of this is that you're learning to stand alone. That the other person is learning to stand alone. There is great, great freedom in that, to break codependencies, to break these patterns of where we're used to the other person fulfilling certain expectations. The Fool kind of says, hey, you're in the process of really, really learning how to make those wishes come true. by taking a leap of faith into your own energy, into your own light. And it takes a lot of strength when you have feelings for someone to be apart. I got to say that, you know, it really requires you to go into your own deepest, I want to say go into your own deepest soul and be able to fulfill your own needs. And I've always said that, you know, in most cases, if there's a connection where two people want to be together, until you don't need the other person, they can't show up for you. You know, it's kind of like the absence is for a reason. It's so that you will stand on your own energy, you know, if that makes sense. All right, I'm just going to see what's going on with this other person. Let's find out what's going on. Where are they at? I mean, it seems like you're in a really good place. You got your time alone. You got the Tower as your time alone. You're pretty independent. You're probably feeling pretty good, whether you're engaging in a lot of social media or whether you're rising above it. Let's see where that person's at. How's this other person? Okay, hang on. Interesting, Firefly. Okay, they're in self-discovery right now. That person is in self-discovery. Magnifying glass. So we got the Firefly and the magnifying glass. Look at this. They're looking at their shit. They are getting clarity. They're examining the fine print. They are in a self-discovery phase. They might be getting light codes it's illumination. Their souls are being illuminated. And guess what? This is this person, whoever this person is that we're talking about, that you're in separation from. This is very specific to that person. So they're in the process of really getting more information, getting clarity within. Now, if they have somebody else, like if they have a spouse or a love interest or whatever, they might be, you know, like dealing with that aspect. But this person coming in as the man at the same time. And we got the dog again. Okay, so this person probably is in a place where they're really relying on their friendships with people. Where they've got a pet that's keeping them, you know, like feeling like, what do you want to say? Centered and loved and all that kind of stuff. They got friends. And we also got the Empress card, Venus, goddess of love. Okay, so they're working on their happiness, their abundance, their ability to experience pleasure. So they're in a very active phase. A very active phase of getting to know themselves better. And look at this. Yeah, the middle card right here is that person, the person you're talking about. All right, I'm going to see if there's any other information now. That is really good news. That's really good news. And, you know, it is in keeping with or congruent with how I feel about where we're at with relationships on the planet. It's kind of like the awakened ones are the ones that are really questioning relationships. They're the ones that have been catalyzed with these intense craziness relationships that are breaking the templates of the marital stuff. Now, there's an awful lot of people that are still just in these, what do you want to say? There's a lot of people that are still in that old traditional connection. And I saw a bunch of them. It's the 4th of July weekend. And, you know, I live in a neighborhood where, you know, everyone's having parades and they're down at the lake and everybody's like hanging out. And then I'm in here doing card readings. It shows you where I'm at in my life. Just totally broken those templates. Now, there are a lot of those people that have stayed in those connections And I'm not really sure what happens with those connections. I don't know. But all I know is the ones of us that are, really, really totally into our great awakening, we're probably just the forerunners. And I really don't know. I mean, I don't know if these relationships, all these relationships where you've got just tons of people who are married with kids and, they got their little families and they go through this period of time for maybe 10 to 15 years where it's all about the family. That's something I'm going to dive into more in the future is, as we start to go into higher dimensions, I'm going to be looking very interestedly at that kind of stuff. But at least we can see a couple of templates that we've got going on right here that are breaking the patterns of New Earth. So I want to say thank you to my guides for, helping me get through the first reading I've done in a while. And interesting, I was getting a message for you guys that are in separation. And this person, whoever it is, it's the man or the woman, I'm not going to give in to fear. I know that fear is just an illusion. So we got that again. That means these patterns are coming down. This is freaking awesome. I'm just so happy about that. And, okay, let's see. I don't feel deserving and it's affecting my levels of abundance and openness. So this might be some of what they're investigating. Might be what they're working on right now is feeling worthy. That's a human thing. That's not even a relationship thing. That's a human thing. It's like, how can I be worthy? Relationships, yeah, but how can I be worthy for all good things? So, they also want to hold you in their arms and feel your bodies unite. So they are still feeling that love for you. They are still feeling the physical connection. So they got really good feelings about it. Let's see if we got another card that wants to come out. Yeah, right there. And they're saying we have a past life connection. Memories are surfacing, either consciously or subconsciously. Tune into the energy to help them remember themselves, their beingness. So anyways, so that's 3 different kind of relationships. If you are in a different kind of relationship and you feel like you want me to dive into the kind of connection that you're dealing with, go ahead and put it in the comments below. Because I love doing relationship readings. Relationships are like what I would consider my specialty. There's certain ones of us who have come in motivated by love, motivated by growing to using that path of love to get to the center of who we are and to find that love within ourselves so that we can remove all the blocks that we have to love so that we can offer our love freely to the perfect counterpart and have a stellar relationship as opposed to like hell on wheels, which we see a lot of on this planet. So, yeah, thanks a lot for spending time with me. If there are also other kinds of readings that you'd like to see me do, or if there's any kind of instructional videos that you'd like to have me do on any of our decks, we've got the Z108, which is this deck right here. We've got the Z108. And like I said, the Z108 is one that I typically use for work. I use it for work, creativity. When I do broadcasts, I tend to do that. We have the Twin Flame Oracle, which you saw in action today, which is just a little bit more about, relationships. But it's also, I use it for higher self cards, guidance for myself. I use that a lot. Of course, the Intuit Oracle is our flagship deck. This is the first deck that Kimberly Arya put out. It's a fantastic freaking deck. The second edition, she just made some improvements in the cards in terms of she added some cards and then she added words, which I thought was wonderful. And then we also have the Intuit Oracle. It's the Controversial Tarot. So we have a learning pack with the Controversial Tarot that has a version with keywords and a version without. So that's our learning pack. And I'm just really not, I didn't pull the tarot cards out. And I think I'm going to do that next time I do a reading to do something specifically with the tarot. But the tarot is really great if you're. I'm just not a tarot person. I don't memorize stuff very well. I can tune into my own energies, but the keywords, I love the keywords version. I think I'll use that the next time. So anyways, thank you guys so much for spending time with me. And I hope to be back soon with another video. Please, though, if you are interested in any kind of videos, I'd like to see this or I'd like to see that, please put it below. I will be happy to just come on and do some readings for you. So anyways, have a wonderful day. Oh, and if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. All right? Thanks. Have a great day.
Chosen, I've been waiting here for you since the beginning of this universe. You know the world is